My brother has spent 9 years telling people I did not come to our mother's funeral. I drove him there. He was 17 the morning Mom died. I was 24 and I had a license, so at 6 a.m., I pulled up under his window and honked twice. "You're late," he mumbled, climbing in. "I'm early. Seatbelt." I drove him the 90 minutes to the funeral home. I paid the last $400 on the casket at the front desk while he waited in the car. I carried Mom's photo boards in from my trunk. I stood in the receiving line with my hand on his shoulder and felt him shake every time somebody said sorry. Then, near the end, the hospice nurse called my cell, the one who'd been with Mom at the very end. I stepped into the parking lot to hear her. 12 minutes, maybe less. 12 minutes was all he needed. When I came back inside, my aunt wouldn't look at me. Neither would my cousins. I chalked it up to grief. I drove Marcus home that night, made him toast because he wouldn't eat, slept on his floor. 3 weeks later, my aunt left a voicemail I still have. "I hope you can live with yourself. Your mother waited for you and you never came." I called her back. I was there the whole day. I drove Marcus. Marcus told us everything, she said. How you couldn't be bothered. How he faced it alone. I laughed because it was insane. Then I stopped because nobody else was. It spread the way those things spread. The brother who skipped his own mother's funeral. Too cold. Too busy. That Christmas my name came off the card. Marcus never said it to my face. He said it to everyone else, softly, sadly, the grieving boy who'd been abandoned. 9 years. You can only say "but I was there" so many times before the words go dead in your mouth. Then last month, Marcus got engaged, and there was a dinner. My grandmother asked me to come, and she's 86, so I went. His fiance's parents were there. Her father shook my hand too long, studying me. He'd already heard. Halfway through dinner, Marcus tapped his glass. He wanted to say something about family, about showing up. He looked right at me. "Some people run when it gets hard," he said. "The day we buried our mother, I stood at that casket by myself, 17 years old, alone." Her mother put a hand to her chest. My grandmother stared at her plate. I set down my fork. "Marcus, what time did I pick you up?" He blinked. "What?" "The morning of the funeral." "What time did I honk under your window?" "You didn't." 6 a.m., I said. "You told me I was late." I reached into my jacket. I'd brought a folder. Some version of it I'd carried for 9 years, waiting for one honest question at a table with the right people at it. I laid down the funeral home invoice first. My name, my card, paid in full the morning of the service. 9:14 a.m. That's the casket. I paid the balance while you sat in my car. I laid down the guest book page. His name and mine, one line apart, my handwriting steady, his shaky. That's us signing in. Together. I slid the next one to her father, since he was the one who'd studied me. That's the funeral director's statement. I asked him for it last week. He remembers the older brother who handled everything while the younger one couldn't speak. The table was silent. Marcus had gone the color of the tablecloth. "You stepped out for a phone call," he said quietly. "You were gone. 12 minutes. For the nurse holding Mom's hand when she died. You built 9 years out of 12 minutes. Why would he lie about that?" his fiancée asked. Her voice was small. That was the question I'd never been allowed to answer, so I answered it. I put down the last page. Mom's bank statements. 3 withdrawals in the 2 weeks before she passed, while she was too sick to hold a pen, signed with a signature that wasn't hers. Because I was the executor, I said. Because if I stayed in this family, eventually I'd have opened her books. And I'd have seen this, $19,000. Gone before the funeral I supposedly skipped. He needed me gone before anyone let me count. So he made me the son who didn't show up. Nobody audits the villain's brother. My grandmother reached across the table. She didn't reach for Marcus. She reached for me. Then she looked at him. "You told me she waited." Marcus opened his mouth. Nothing came out.